Okie dokie. It's all yours, sir.
You need anything else?
All right. Hi, my name is Wade Watkins. This is for the camera only. I have 2 students plus John. John, are you going to hang out or no?
I've got some stuff I gotta.
Okay, perfect.
Oh, it's just
I'll
us.
be in and out.
Okay, so we're going to be going over the incident command system. And I'm going to adjust this camera really quick. And we're going to go through what ICS is, the history of it, NIMS, National Incident Management System, the why, the what, and the how it applies to EMS and how it applies to the fire service as a whole. So interactive through this whole thing. Nobody's exempt. And
So the 2 of us aren't exempt.
the 2 plus myself are not exempt. So you get purple
Awesome.
and you get blue. So really quick, we're going to have a race. Let's Google incident command system, and whoever gets it first gets to read the definition of it.
I got one.
Okay, go.
The incident command system is a management system designed to enable effective and efficient domestic incident management by integrating a combination of facilities, equipment, personnel, procedures, and communications operating within a common organizational structure.
I love it. Common organizational structure. So for your testing in 1, 2, 7, and 8, modular construction. So you'll see the incident command chart, and we're going to build one out really quick right here. What position is at the top of the hierarchical chart? Right, EIC. So perfect. Okay. So the incident command system. Now, what is NIMS? Let's have you Google National Incident Management System. So there's a little bit of a difference here, and we're going to define what the National Incident Management System and why it's important to us as emergency responders within the United States.
Well, okay. Well, I'll give you a nice Let's try this. Okay. It is a structure of management large let me start over. The National Incident Management System is a structure for management large-scale or multi-jurisdictional incidents. It is being phased in at the federal, state, and local levels. Eventually, any jurisdiction seeking federal Homeland Security grant money will demonstrate that NIMS is compliant.
Okay.
That's the definition.
Good enough, and
Okay.
I'll communicate it. I was going to dumb it down for me. When we look at this, so we have the Fed level, okay? We have the state level. What's below the state?
Local.
So Fed, state, local, so we have city level. And that's usually what it stops, where it stops. But the National Incident Management System throughout all of the United States, it's been adopted that we are compliant, compatible, not necessarily compatible, but more compliant, and we follow the doctrine by the National Incident Management System, which means common terminology. So the terminology used in NIMS is the same across the United States. So if we deploy to New York, if we deploy to Texas, we're using the same common terminology. And within the National Incident Management System, related to ICS, the common terminology, but common methodology too. So the same, when we say create a group, we know that it's going to be for functions. When we say create a division, it's a geographical location, and branches can be functions and groups. So that's what the intent is behind that. Presidential Directive 5 is what mandates that. So it's actually a presidential mandate of, hey, everybody gather their stuff and get under there. Does anybody have an idea of when this change happened within the United States?
Was it 9/11?
9/11, right? So 9/11, all these resources deployed, and they were using different terminology, different methodology, ground zero, around the United States. So that's when we all decided to get in there. What did the incident command system look like before 9/11? So just say different. If you went to Arizona, you would have different terminology. If you went to California and you'd be working under something called fire scope, you would have different terminology, different methodology. So the purpose of the incident command system related to NIMS and how it is in 2019 is that we have the same stuff. So that's the why when we focus on the why. So both of you have been working as EMS part-time members for over a year-ish.
Less than a year.
Less than a year. But you're hearing terminology, right? Through our CAD system, our computer animated dispatch center, you get to be hearing dispatch, you get to be hearing resources respond and coordinate operations, and you get to be hearing that terminology. And it should sound very similar. Does it always? No. Should it with the Unified Fire Authority when we're running an incident? It should sound very, very similar. So that's the why. The what? Again, it's a management system. It's so when we show up on grandma, if she's fallen out of the bed and it's a ground level fall, we can use the incident command system there. If we step back from that and go to a larger scale incident, give me a larger scale incident than a ground level fall. Just one step up.
Multi-car accident.
Multi-car accident. Like even, we could say two. We could say car versus fence. We could say whatever. We can scale that up. So there is a breakdown of incidents. So grandma falling down out of bed at 2 in the morning, that's at level 5. Type 4 incident would be that multi-vehicle accident. Type 3 incident would be something where it's multi-jurisdictional, multi-agency, and more than one operational period. What is an operational period? Ooh, that's a good
I can
one.
see
huh?
it. There you go.
Okay, so think about this. July 4th of this year, hot, really hot, extremely hot, and we have a fairly large scale house fire. As the incident commander, I could say, hey, my ops periods are going to be 3 hours. So at that 3 hour mark, I'm going to start rotating crews. And I'm going to do that. So I'm in charge of my ops period. Let's say it's fall. There's no weather that's impacting my decisions on that. I could say ops period 8 hours. It's totally up to the incident commander and the operations section that we'll get to in a second on what they want to do as far as breaking it down. But a type 3 incident, the complexity has to do with multi-jurisdiction, multi-agency, and how long your operational period is. Type 2 incident. Give me an example of a type 2 incident that you may think that could be type 2.
Natural disasters.
Natural disasters, right? A type 2 incident, let's say medium scale flooding between 2 jurisdictions, so we're crossing a geopolitical boundary. Type 2 incident can be there. Give me a type 1 in history. Throw out something that's a type 1 incident. 9/11, Mendocino Complex in California, large scale fire.
Mm-hmm.
Anything that's hits that max capacity of like, oh my gosh, this is a large scale incident. Okay, we've covered this.
Do we have a type of accident that is international? And would that be a type 1?
They would be a type 1.
Type 1, just
Type 1, yeah. Give me an example of an international incident.
anything that happens at the Olympics.
Right, anything that happens at the Olympics. Now, geographically speaking, that's going to be defined as one location. Well, could be international. Oil spill, okay? Anytime oil is spilling and then that oil is going into international waters, international incident. So, great. Okay, the why, the what, the how. So we're going to be talking about how this applies to your current role within the EMS role, and then we'll also talk about fire, because when you're utilized and working in the emergency response arena, you're going to be also functioning on those fire scenes, on those flooding scenes, And as a first responder, I need you to start broadening your horizon and thinking about all hazards. If we go on a possible anthrax poisoning later today, right? You're going to be integrated in that system. That is an all hazard call. If we go on a fire, same game. A flood, same game. If we go on a active shooter, same game. All hazards. So you're approaching that. We're going to hit on a breakdown of groups, divisions, and branches, just real quick. So this is, to me, this is the value of the incident command system. This is how things are done. So, I'm going to find my eraser real quick. Maybe not real quick. Okay. How you doing, Brady?
How you doing, Chief?
So, we're going to talk about groups. Brady, I'm going to pick on you right out of the gate.
Okay.
Through the incident command system, give me an example of how you would assign a group on a fire, and give me an example of their assignment.
Okay. So there would be like a ventilation group on a structure fire,
Okay?
and their assignment would be to go up on the roof and cut a hole.
Love it. So, group function. So give me an example within the EMS arena of a functional group. It doesn't need to be complicated. So he gave
Triage.
he gave an example of fire, ventilation. You could say triage, treatment group,
Okay.
transport group. You could break it down like that, or you could say whatever you want to, but it's a functional group. So let's say we have, and we'll do it really easy here, really, Alpha division. Let's go like this, sorry. Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Delta. So here's our incident outlay. So what you can do with that functional group is you could send them to any division and they could free flow. So think of it as I think of it as like a game board. So I can have vent group, or better yet, let's say triage group. Okay, we have an injury over here. 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 Okay, now I'm going to pick on somebody really quick. So, let's go triage group right here. All three of you right here on this incident. If I'm the incident commander, how am I going to tell triage group to start going through these divisions and searching for these injured folks? What do you think that command is going to sound like?
You want me to do it on the radio?
Yeah, it's on TAC 8, so nobody else is listening. You're going to hear it on here, but it's a training
Okay.
channel, so you're going to hear it. So I'll be command.
Okay.
You're going to be triage group, okay?
Okay.
You're doing great.
Triage group from command TAC 8.
This is triage.
Triage group, I want you to go through Alpha, Bravo, Charlie division and look for any hurt or injured individuals. Give me a number upon completion.
Copy over to triage, Alpha, Charlie, Delta, and triage, and then injury to give you a number.
Bam, done. Perfect. So, what does a functional group do?
Their assigned job.
Their assigned job, right? But now, wrap your mind around this. That you can free flow through an incident and do your job. So when you say functional, think more just doing your job. What's important when you do this is that you understand that is the capacity of function. Give me another example across the board of what you could create as a functional group. Doesn't have to be EMS related, and it can be outside of the box.
Well, this could be EMS related by a hazmat or a decontamination. And
Decon group.
Yeah.
Perfect. Perfect. Love it. Okay, I need Brady. We got to get an eraser real quick, but I need a picture of a house fire. You know, I'm gonna use one of these. Somebody got like little white trash waiting picture of this stuff. Okay. I need a multi-family dwelling and apartment complex, 3-story. Your best rendition.
Oh, I'm gonna draw.
Yeah, draw it.
I hope you know I draw in stick figures.
That's okay. And I need, let's have Chris go ahead and go up there and help them. And you can use green if you'd like.
As I said, I just see your artistic prowess.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this would be great.
3-story. That's all we need is a 3-story complex.
3-story building.
Am I doing a separate one then? Whatever you want. You guys are a functional group. So right now you're the artist group.
We're gonna swap that.
So command has just ordered them to create their rendition of a 3-story multifamily dwelling, smoke and flames showing on the alpha side.
Sit on the alpha side?
Whatever, you're fine.
Okay.
Okay. Now let's have some additions here. Let's get creative.
Alright. Some additions.
Okay, this is perfect.
Oh, can't do additions.
Okay. Let's go with the brown.
I was gonna do a pink door.
Door's fine. Brown's good.
Yeah, we got door.
Okay, somebody Google groups within the incident command system. And just give me the definition of functional group within the incident command system. And then division within the incident command system and branches within the incident command system. Okay, let's go. Chris, give me your definition of a division within the incident command system.
Let's see. Division is.
So you're watching this?
Together.
Nope. Okay. Let's have the definition of division.
The division level is organizationally between the strike team and the branch, is what it says here, but that doesn't sound.
Ooh, so that's opening me up to more terminology.
Yeah.
Isn't it a specialty group or?
No, so division, so if I have a 3-story building, I can go Division 1, okay, so it's by geography, that's how I'm dicing it up. I can go Division 2, I can go Division 3, okay? Okay, now what happens if I have a basement? What do I do there, Brady?
What's that?
If I go Division 1, Division 2, Division 3, and I have a basement, and I'm the incident commander on the scene, how do I articulate this as a division?
I would say basement division.
Perfect. Love it. So basement division.
Everyone knows what you're talking about.
Yep. So what is that? If everybody knows what you're talking about, common terminology, plain speak. You never want to be on an incident and start spouting out random stuff. It happens all the time. People start creating their own nomenclature when they start getting stressed. So when you hear division, and we'll look at it on a wildland fire too, but think geographically. It's a geographical location. So, Chris, give me, I'll be command, and I'm going to give you some radio comms right now. Division 1 for command.
Go for Division 1.
Complete a primary search on Division 1, let me know when that's done.
Copy, do a primary search on Division 1. We'll advise what we did.
So what you have here, Chris is division supervisor of this geographical location. He could have this whole crew with him, but he is in charge of Division 1. So I can also come back and say, Division 1 from command.
Go for Division 1.
Give me a CAN report on our activity in Division 1. So I can ask for a CAN report, conditions, actions, error, and needs within Division 1. I could assign him whatever I want within the Division 1. So I know that that'll be done. Division 2 the same, Division 3 the same, basement division the same. So what are you helping when you start breaking things up into divisions, groups, branches? Organization, but you're also focusing on that span of control. So imagine me walking into Costco with my 10 kids. I only have 3, I can't handle any more than that. But if I had 10 kids, the span of control starts getting too big. So I can go 1 to 7. What's my optimal number on span of control? 5, right? But you can do that through your organization. So I can have Division 1, Division 2, Division 3, basement division, and I could put in here a functional group for evacuation to do evacuations through division, basement 1, 2, 3, and I still have that lower number related to span and control. Okay, we've covered groups, we've covered divisions, branches. Give me an example of a branch. No, that's a section. So right now, we have IC. What's the most enacted or used section in the incident command system? Okay, and it's a modular build out. That's a test question for ICS 1, 2, 7, and 8. But you have operations, ops. So on every incident, you're always going to have operations, right? First arriving is going to be incident commander, second usually is ops, or they could bump to ops. Give me another example of a section. Logistics, so we're over here. Logs. Okay, another example of a section. And you could Google it too if you can't remember. Planning. Right, so planning's going to off here. Okay, another example.
Finance.
Yep. Give me, so right here you have CFLOP, you have command, finance, logistics, planning, and operations. Okay, give me any example of a type 3 incident, okay, and I'll just throw it at you. So we have a zombie uprising. Zombies are running the streets of South Salt Lake, which they really are. If you walk over here and watch people come out of the jail, walk towards Maverick, same thing as a zombie uprising. So, what do you need for your operation? So you have zombies that have bitten a few people. So, what's that? Containment, okay, you can do that. So, who would you use for containment? Law enforcement?
Law enforcement, you can use hazmat.
So what you can do with your modular build out, so you could go law enforcement branch. So I don't, as the incident commander, I don't need to get in the weeds per se and start commanding people within that branch. I could be like, hey, law enforcement branch, contain the zombies. Done. Done, I don't need to worry about it. They communicate up through ops section. Ops section communicates up through the incident command system, or through the IC. Give me another example of a branch on, let's say, a wildland fire. Because this really helps me out understand like the value of a branch. What do we use on large scale wildland fires often? They sound like this.
Helicopters.
Helicopters. So, what would that branch be called? Air operations branch, air ops or air branch, air ops branch. So think it's a specialty related to what I do, right? I can't run air ops branch, but you could say, hey, air ops, whoever is in charge of Camp Williams over the Blackhawks, you're running air ops branch. Ops communicates, I should say, with air ops, tells them what they need, and they go do it. Okay, we have IC here, so there's the incident commander. We have the sections here. Who else is in command staff? If you have the incident commander up here, and when you think about that, think about how fire department organizational charts are built. Who is supporting the chief of the department? You have what?
Safety.
Safety. So you have the SO, safety officer. Who else do you have? PIO.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. Liaison. Okay. Okay, what does the safety officer do?
Monitors the scene for conditions that are potentially hazardous.
I love it, but you said it perfectly. Monitors the scene. The safety officer isn't worried about everything here. It's worried about what's in the lanes of travel for that incident. So everybody within this incident, all those responders, that's the concern of the safety officer. What does the PIO do? Media, right? Controls the messaging, communicates. Okay, what does the liaison officer do? If that's what the PIO is doing, what does the liaison officer do?
Handles other agencies.
Love it. Communicates with other agencies. So, here's a scenario. We have an oil spill that's more so than the average daily oil spill into the Jordan River. We set up the incident command system. Chris is the incident commander. You guys are all the general staff right here through the sections. What agencies should be notified if it happens in, let's say it starts in Riverton, but that oil spill has now gone through South Jordan and is now contaminating all the way down to the Great Salt Lake? What agencies may that liaison officer start reaching out to? Okay, everyone the path. So all those geographical boundaries. So you need to talk to South Jordan. You need to talk to South Salt Lake, Murray. Who else?
What was it that spilled?
Oil. Let's say oil. Whatever hazardous material spilled. The point being, who are you communicating with? So those are the geographical areas, the municipalities that material's running through. Who else are you going to be reaching out to? Think agency.
Health department.
Health department, love it. So like Salt Lake County Health Department. Who else?
Water treatment.
Water treatment. Who else?
Police still, in case.
Police. Okay, so
Dangerous.
perfect, great. Who else?
I want to say like Parks and Rec, but I don't think that's the right answer.
Sure, it's another agency. DWR? Yep. Okay, you're getting it. You're reaching out, you're communicating with those agencies. So that's what the liaison officer. So we've covered IC, command staff, safety officer, PIO, liaison. Now, and this is getting a little deep. I'll get there. What? You have an EOC over here. Not the Salt Lake County EOC, but let's say this happens in Riverton. What is this EOC at the local level going to be doing for this incident? What do EOCs do? I didn't know this until like 15 years into my career. No, not necessarily. So think about this. Give me the best basketball player of your generation, not mine, because I know who the best is. Ugh, you pain my ears. Pain my ears. LeBron James. So LeBron James is the incident command system, right? Now who's assisting him? Who's throwing the assists for that? Lorenzo Ball or whoever. Okay, in my day, if you're thinking about Carl Malone and is doing the hammer down, right? You're thinking of John Stockton feeding him that support. So in the EOC is that local support. So that PIO communicates with the EOC. EOC communicates with the stakeholders, with the policy level folks, with the mayor, the city manager, all of that. And they also logistically support the incident command system. How it works on a daily basis, who supports us on a daily basis when we need logistical support? Who do we communicate through? If I run an incident today as Battalion 12, who am I communicating through? VEC. And what is VEC?
Dispatching service.
Dispatching service. What does VEC stand for?
Valley
Emergency Communications Center.
Exactly, Valley Emergency Communication Center. So they're coordinating it. So if I need the health department, I contact VEC. If I have a building burned down and I need an investigator, contact VEC. If I need more resources, I contact VEC. Once the incident scales up to a sizable incident, you're going to be leaning on the EOC for support. So what does EOC stand for?
Emergency Operations Center.
Right, so when you hear operations, that's a little bit of a lie. Think coordination center. So emergency coordination center. So if I'm running an incident, let's say I have 3 apartment complexes burned down. I have all these displaced citizens. I can communicate as the incident commander with the local EOC, and I can request housing. Now they'll coordinate through the American Red Cross and do what they need to do, but I can coordinate and request the support I need through that emergency operations center. Okay, we've covered IC, we've covered command staff, we've covered general staff, which is that's what ops planning logs is called. If it is a law enforcement centric incident, let's say a bombing, a marathon bombing, something like that, you can actually do another section here for investigations. Because if you don't activate that section early on, it's going to be a bad deal. You could do that in different ways. You can put an investigations branch over here. You could put it over here as a section. You have some different opportunity to do different things. So we've covered what is ICS. We've covered what NIMS is. We've covered the why, the what, and the how. We're going to do some basic size ups. So Brady, can you pull up some images of basic house fires? And I'm just going to take you through let's go half speed size up, so everybody just sizes it up. Half speed. Now what happens if you're working on an ambulance and you show up in front of a burning structure?
You're going to be told to move.
Okay. If your resources aren't there. So if you've been dispatched on
So if I was the first one there,
right,
I would be incident command.
right, you're going to be taking that size up.
Yeah.
Your first time, that's a big moment. That's a really, really big moment.
You have to take like ambulance or BLS command, EMT command.
No, we'll cover that.
The fire
Big
command.
call command.
Okay, I'm gonna give
you'd be legendary.
Give you a little bit of a quiz. This summer, if I have MCI, so multi-casualty incident on I-15, let's throw it 126 South, and there's 15 bodies everywhere. Okay? If I order a strike team of Type 1 ambulances, what do I get? No. So strike team, Google strike team, on your marks, get set, go, and I want the definition.
Specified combinations of the same kind and type of resources with common communications and a leader.
Gosh, I love that definition. So if I say I want a strike team of Type 1 ambulances, so I'm already using typing, right? So typing That falls directly under the National Incident Management System. Our pumpers are type 1 pumpers if they're manned with 4. If they drop to 3, that's a type 2 pumper. It's judged off of gallons per minute. Ambulances are the same way when you look at capacity, ALS capability, type 1. But if I say to dispatch, I want a 1 strike team of type 1 ambulances, I can anticipate having 5 ambulances come to my scene to staging, have them report to staging. They're all going to be similar. They're all going to have a common communications channel, and I'll have a strike team leader. So as operations or the incident commander, all I have to worry about is telling one person, one point of contact in that strike team, what I need done, and they do that and function as a strike team. Okay, task force. Definition of task force.
It's any combination of resources of different kinds and or types assembled to support a specific mission or operation.
Right, so Utah Task Force 1 is what? So think of our USAR team, right? Diversity. Diversity in resources that can be applied to a mission. Hey, guess what? There's a hurricane over here. Utah Task Force 1, deploy, set up, and you're gonna be working that. So common terminology, groups, division, branches, strike teams, task forces, incident command system. As soon as Brady gets these up, we'll be able to rock and roll. Any luck?
Not yet.
Okay.
The computer's crashing and burning.
You got time. Work on it. Let's have. Who has the biggest screen out of the Surface Pro and the Mac? Okay. Google house fire images. You're only a firefighter, you only do it every day.
I know, but actually the structure, you give me tap, I'll do it.
I know, but so that's my ask is that you guys, every one of you, start thinking at a higher level. So when you're asked to do something, not only do you understand the why, the what, the how, you understand the methodology behind it, and then you'll be able to serve it up. And what's funny is when you grasp it, probably as good if not better than the incident commander, you can get ahead of those asks, those requests. Okay, what do we have?
I don't know what a simple house fire looks like, so I'm seeing lots of
Okay.
very aggressive
Do
pictures.
they want us to get ahead of that? That's freelancing.
That's not freelancing. Freelancing, so let's define freelancing.
But they give you certain
Freelancing is, so an incident commander sets what? This is really good dialogue. An incident commander sets what?
Sets, yeah,
Sets what?
just the scene.
No, sets the objectives, okay? Objectives are derived from priorities, okay? Incident priorities. What are our incident priorities? Think very simple.
Life rescue.
Life, okay?
Life safety.
When in doubt, if we show up, and I don't care if I have an EMS only crew, if I show up and I see life safety and somebody's hanging out of a second story window, but I know you can enact a rescue, guess what? Life safety takes precedence every time. What's our next one for incident priorities?
Well, it's gonna be us first, then life rescue, then.
No. So life safety and
Incident stabilization.
we don't need to define what life,
Okay.
right? I'm not going to kill a firefighter, nor am I going to kill a citizen, and I'm going to do everything I can to rescue, maintain safety. Life safety is a priority. Incident stabilization.
Fire.
So think incident stabilization. Once I've accounted for life safety, incident commander or first arriving ambulance, once you account for life safety, instant stabilization, you can start moving on. So what's the next one as far as priorities? property conservation. When we think of property conservation in our line of business, what do we think of? Saving property. So how,
We don't have to.
right? So putting out the fire, stopping the progression of the fire, right? Not overwhelming the fire to the extent of damaging everything in the structure, right? Do I like it? Getting into some good stuff. What's up, Wes? Wonderful, how are you? Oh man, sorry I missed it. Hey, I'm teaching a class right now. Can I call you back? All right, thank you, Wes. Take care. Bye. Okay, so we have,
Down or leave it out.
that's fine. So we have incident stabilization, life safety, incident stabilization, property conservation. What happens after we account for these? And I'll,
No, you just double check.
right, you can
Law stop.
double check, go through them, law stop, but you can also think about what? Environment. So this is a perfect visual for this. So, life safety. If I have a little kid in this window right here, and this is rocking, what do I do?
Kid.
Go get the kid.
Bam! Take care of the kid, right? If I hear mom screaming, and I've lived this incident, it's burned into my soul, but if mom's screaming out here, my kid's in this structure, and I'm fire capable, what do? I grab her by her hair, say, where's your kid? And we're going to ladder that room, and we're going to take care of that life safety before we worry about handling that like a boss. Now, if you have a dichotomy right here, you have that fork in the road. If I know I can take this out, right, with your deck gun with the 2.5, whatever, and I can account for that life safety in there, I can do that. But there's the point of decision making related to that. And again, whoever arrives first is the incident commander. Whoever arrives first should be working through these priorities. Life safety, incident stabilization, property conservation, environment. So we've hit life safety. Incident stabilization would be addressing fire attack here, right? Aggressive fire attack, knocking the crap out of that. And then we're addressing this, we're addressing this, and ultimately we're addressing this. So what do we do in the fire service to address property conservation outside of aggressive fire attack? Post-incident, post-fire out.
Salvage and overhaul.
Salvage and overhaul, right? That's my weak, I'm not gonna say my weak point. My weak point is water damage, excessive water damage, because no rekindle 2019 on my watch. It's not gonna happen. So what would freelancing, definition of freelancing, and this isn't ICS terminology, but you may as well know. Freelancing is what?
It's when people go and do their own thing without any.
Right, not communicating with incident command. So let's say an ambulance pulls up here, okay? Incident commander is over here, sizing up, doing their piece, and they see a little kid in this window right here, and they know they can aggressively, systematically effect a rescue. What is on them to do?
Notify command.
Notify command. Once you notify and communicate and put that commander in the loop, that is not freelancing. Now, if they shut you down, that at that point, that becomes freelancing.
I get what you mean.
Right.
Like you're going around, you're getting utilities, and then you notice that there's flames coming, and you tell them that.
Right.
Kind of getting ahead of yourself. But
You can, absolutely loved working for Chief Johnson. My favorite thing to do would be to get ahead of his needs. It's like patient care. Well, okay, I'm going to get into my analogy really quick on patient care. My favorite service as far as waiters and waitresses are the ones that have a Diet Coke for me here and another Diet Coke for me here. They're way ahead of my needs. Patient care, same game. Be ahead of the needs. If you're working with a paramedic and you see that they need to start an IV or you need to start an IV, you need to give this medication, you need to do that, lean forward, get that stuff ready. That person or that incident commander should not have to ask a hard ask. It should be like, oh, thank you, oh, thank you, oh, thank you. You're anticipating the needs. On an incident, same game. I should be anticipating the needs of the incident commander. With this, we'll get into tactics a little bit as we apply the incident command system. Brady, what is your priority? No life safety concerns are happening. Dispatch has notified you that family is out. They do have a golden doodle in the basement, not a healer. A golden doodle in the basement. What are your tactics on this incident? Basically, what would you do?
My tactics would be aggressive fire attack first, and if as soon as the resources arrive, send someone in the basement to get the dog.
Okay, what, and this is more than we need to, what are you going to place here?
So there's going to be, in front of the numbers, is going to be a ladder truck, and engine
Okay.
is going to be somewhere around there.
So ladders, where we'll call ladder right here, and we'll say that's in front of the numbers. You have your engine right here. Okay, what is going to be your fire attack? What tactics, what size of hose are you going to be aggressively fighting this with?
You're going to want to pull a 2.5.
Okay, 2.5. What size nozzle?
I would use a fog.
Okay. Don't let Chief Hicks hear that. That's side note. So you get a fog that bad boy. You're pulling a 2.5 off of your engine. You have this going right here. Let's hear your size up of this incident. Where did radio go? So you are going to be medic engine 123. This is in Harriman. Multiple callers have called you. This ME123. Let's hear your size up, and then we'll rotate through.
Okay.
Rock and roll.
Fire medic engine 123 is arrived on a 2-story single-family dwelling. Smoke and flames coming from the garage on the opposite side. Engine 123 will be offensive with a 2.5. First driving ladder, I want to ventilate the structure, and then next engine, gravel water supply.
Chris, love it, love it, love it, love it. Okay, now Chris, you're that same incident commander. I want to hear your first. Now he already handled some orders right in there, right? Some pre-arrival orders, which I'm a fan of pre-arrival orders. Some people are not. Let's rewind and let's have your size up and your first order and set up a functional group. Okay, so that's a lot. Just give me your first order of what you want to have happen. Don't overthink it on this. So size up, first order.
As far as just getting a water supply, or?
Whatever you want.
Okay.
Okay.
Do the size of medic.
Size up. Medic engine 123.
Fire medic engine 123 has arrived on a two-story structure. Flames showing up from the opposite side. We're going to have first incoming unit, ground water supply.
Okay. So your fire attack that is happening, set that up as a group. Do you know how to do that, or what that would look like?
Set the first unit up as a group. Oh, you'll be Division 1?
No. So you could just say, so if you're medic engine 123, you're Alpha, right? Your engineer is Bravo, Charlie, and Delta. So you've called command. What's your command name?
I'm Rosecrest Command.
Rosecrest Command. So key in the incident command system, taking command, and what else do you do when you take command?
Designate command.
Command, designate location, command, and accountability. So right, your command, and you have accountability of the whole incident. Everybody that's incoming on that knows that you have command and you are accountable. Accountability is huge with that. Okay, so there's incident commander is right here. You've done your 360. You got that done. Okay? Bravo, what's Bravo doing?
Bravo.
Pumping at what? Pumping at 150, cooking at 350. So Bravo is your engineer. They're at your pump panel. What's Charlie and Delta, your firefighters, doing?
The hose.
Okay, so communicate your command to Charlie and Delta, however you would in real world, if you're incident commander. related to fire attack.
Okay. So when I give it, I'm actually gonna say Charlie and Delta.
You could say whatever you want, but these are the people you're giving the order to.
Okay. Typically I hear both firefighters from next incoming unit grab a hose line and grab a 3-inch line and put water on the fire.
Okay, perfect. Another way, and a very simple way to do it is, so let's say next incoming unit, let's say Medic Engine 124. Medic Engine 124 from command, go for Medic Engine 124. Upon your arrival, assume fire suppression group. Pop. So with Medic Engine 124, fire suppression group is going to be taking over this. Things, let's say things get crazy, flame starts kicking out of this and kicking out of this. I can backfill that fire suppression group with more bodies. And they communicate through the group supervisor of Medic Engine 124. That's the intent behind a group. If you had an adjacent unit right here that's coming down and you have to do evacuations, you could say Medic Engine 124 from command. Go for command. Medic Engine 124, you're going to be evacuation group upon your arrival. Evacuate Bravo 1 exposure. So I know that they're going to be doing that, and I could backfill them with resources as far as doing that. Okay. Give me another image. And then after this next fire one, give me a simple MCI.
Okay.
Okay. So, MA220 arrives first. This is Old Town Riverton. Okay. And it doesn't need to be perfect at all, but I want to hear what you would say.
So
Your next arriving unit, so this is a full arm assignment, multiple callers have called. You're coming back from Riverton Hospital on a BLS patient that you transported there. It was, let's call it a UTI, way specific. But you're transporting, you just came back from transporting, you get this dispatch, and you get a beat 121, Medic Engine 124 by minutes, because you're already out there. I want to hear your size up or your communication of what it would be like.
Okay.
It's pressure, right?
Yeah.
But we all face that. We all face that. Let's hear it.
Okay. It's gonna be real rough. Middlemiss 220 has arrived on a house fire. Fire seems to be coming from the backside with smoke all throughout the roof. And we're gonna stand by, take command, and my partner will go check if there's anyone outside.
You know what you just did? You rocked it. And why did you rock it? What did you account for?
Where the fire and smoke was?
Okay, fire and smoke, whatevs. But you accounted for life safety. So life safety is key in that, and you get to account. So once we know, once you've gone up here and talked to whoever is in that house or who's ever out front or the neighbors, let's say it's a vacant building, and we know that it's vacant. We know that there's no life safety. What could the next arriving, so what could Brett Morley do, Captain Morley, do when he arrives next if he knows life safety is accounted for?
Do property.
Right,
Fire.
you can make incident stabilization the priority, but one thing that you're knowing going into that I'm going to risk very little because there's nothing to save in there. So I know for a fact that I'm not putting Brady and Chris in there if I know that there's no life safety. Now if there's life safety in here, guess what? We're going, and it's going to be dicey. If we know we can put out the fire without life safety going on an interior attack, I'm totally cool with it. but it's that game we're playing. We're not gonna risk a lot if we don't have anything to save. But if we do have something to save, it's game time. So very clear on your communication. Okay, let's go simple. Let's go MBA, 3-car MBA if possible. What ambulance are you usually working off of?
218.
218, rock and roll. So you are medic ambulance 218. You're driving back from IMC, and you roll up on this, and I'm going to give you a road. So this is going to be Redwood Road. Direction of travel is going to be southbound, and I just want to hear your size up, your communication to VEC of how that goes, and so basically what you have, what you're doing, and what you need. On your marks, no pressure, get
No pressure.
set, go.
This is Medic Ambulance 218. We arrived on the site on scene for a 3-car accident on southbound Redwood Road. We cannot visualize any patients at this time, but I anticipate needing 3 ambulances.
Love it.
Please, we will take command and begin triage.
Love it. I know what you have, right? Something that's important just to think about, direction of travel, right? Because they're going to be dispatching law enforcement to support. Color of vehicles. I would just do color probably in this scenario. But you hit exactly what you needed. You gave what you anticipate. You're a little too nice, right? And I get that. But you gave the count on the ambulances. You gave the count on what you need. Name your command, right? What would your command be called in Taylorsville?
Patient paid call command.
No, you can name command anything you want to, but usually they take Banyan,
Okay.
right, or Taylorsville.
Yeah.
But you can name it Redwood command. You can name it anything you want.
Okay.
The point being, if they have different incidents going on within T-Ville, I'll make up a different command for Battalion 12 because I'm thinking they probably have Taylorsville command, they have Banyan command somewhere else. I don't want to take up their command name, but very good. Okay, let's go with Brady. Throw a 3-story apartment complex, and I want to hear your size up. You gave a really good one last time, but I want to hear your size up again. There's Terry.
Terry Haynes.
Mm-hmm. T. Haynes.
We arrived on the three-store apartment complex.
Okay, good. So, same game. Brady, where are you working now? Midvale, 125? So you're medic engine 125. And this looks like Old Town Midvale. Okay, let's hear you take command, and I'm going to role play with you for a little bit, and you're going to run it for a little bit. So rock and roll.
Okay. Alright, getting 125's arrived on a 3-story multi-family dwelling. We have smoke and flames showing off the outside, not to the east. Medication 125 will be out on offensive attack. Be out on 360. Name it.
Dispatch copies. What's your command name?
So yeah,
Copy that. So, this is for you. Very clear, very concise. Love it. What are your resources that you're going to have on that incident?
so we're gonna have 52, 126.
So 52, and that's a medic engine.
Yeah.
Okay, we have ME 126, 126. Okay, we have ME 125.
Yep.
Who's your ladder going to be?
83 probably.
Okay, so we have medic ladder 83. Okay, who's your ambulance going to be?
225.
225. What heavy rescue is going to come?
117.
Okay,
And if it's a multi-family dwelling, probably another ladder, which
Okay.
would probably be either 31 or 110, depending on the location.
okay, that's good. And who's your chief coming?
14.
14, and they'll probably throw
13.
battalion 13 there too. Now the reason why I'm writing out this, what is this called? What are these resources right here called?
First alarm.
First alarm. So medic engine 125 is going to be doing what? Taking command, fire attack. Okay. Command, I don't put that on there. Command, fire attack. Okay. What's medic engine 52 going to be doing? Up to you, and sky's the limit, whatever.
Probably water supply.
Water supply. Give me, how long will water supply take roughly?
5 minutes.
Okay, 5 minutes is a
3
long
minutes.
time. Should be less than that, right? So let's go 3 minutes.
Okay.
Okay. Medic engine 126 is going to be doing what?
They're probably going to be pulling a second attack line.
Second attack?
And I mean, depending on the scenario, if there's people, if you hear people, then search and rescue
Okay.
is also probably first before second attack line.
Okay, medic ladder 83 is going to be doing what?
Ventilation. And if we need,
So, okay, now here's a question. Go through your radio communication to medic ladder 83
okay,
and assign them vent. Let's hear you.
Tower 83 from Midvale Command.
Go for tower 83.
We're going to assign in ventilation and truck functions.
Copy that. Ventilation and truck functions. Command from tower 83.
Go ahead.
Would you like me to take truck company functions group?
Yeah, that's good.
Copy that. Command medic ladder 110's arrived.
Medic ladder 110 from command from the assignment to truck functions group, officer 83 supervisor.
Did you hear that stuff? That's awesome. That's perfect. So you built out a group, right? You had another resource come and you backfill that group. What does that do for that need of the incident?
Well, it's going to cut down on communication between because 110 is going to be communicating 83, and they're kind of, you assign them a function, and they're handling that function however they see fit. So,
Love it. And you said it, the point being is that you're giving those folks an opportunity to get ahead of the needs on that incident. You're giving them an opportunity to use those resources that they have, and you're backfilling them. So as a truck company officer, if I'm taking truck company functions, what do I need to focus on? What are my priorities within truck companies? What are they going to be doing?
so the first truck company is probably going to be ventilation specific.
So let's say vent, okay. What else am I going to be doing?
Forcible entry,
Okay.
search and rescue.
Forcible entry, search and rescue. Okay, no search and rescue is needed. Okay, so what are they going to be doing? They don't want to screw up the flow path of the building, so they're going to be softening the structure. So they're opening doors, but they're closing them so they can get access egress. What else are they going to be doing? Let's pick on Chris. What else is a truck company going to be doing? Utilities, okay. What else?
Our utilities, we're going to RIT now for
Okay, so they could do IRIT, initial RIT. So you're seeing they have multiple jobs to get done. Using that group as the group supervisor, I could say, as group supervisor over this for 83, I could say, hey, medic ladder 110, you're obviously reporting for me, go ahead and set up IRIT, control utilities on the structure. But when command checks back in, again, you're getting ahead of it. Okay, what are you going to give to Heavy Rescue 117?
thermal.
Okay, but you can call them what? RIT group. Heavy Rescue 117 from command. Go for Heavy Rescue 117. Assume RIT group upon your arrival on this incident, set up on the Alpha Bravo corner of the structure. So I've given them a geographical location. They can come back and change that, but they know when they show up what they've been assigned. Now, can I use them in other applications outside of RIT? Absolutely. If I need to overwhelm this and focus on the priority of life safety or incident stabilization, I can use them as incident commander, whatever. Okay, District Chief 14 and Battalion 13 never arrived. You handled it. I love it. I love how you're working through, working on that as far as building out a group. So, what is your assignment for Medic Ambulance 225 going to do?
They're probably gonna be medical.
Okay, medical what? Medical division, medical group?
They're medical group.
Medical group, perfect. So what's the benefit of making medical group versus medical division?
Well, if they're a division, you're assigning them a geographic location, and there's not really, I mean, unless you're setting up medical in different floors, there's not really a need for a division.
You get it. So, can you put more than one medic ambulance in medical group, right?
Especially for patients.
You can throw in 3 medic ambulances. Hey, medic ambulance 225, you're going to be medical group supervisor. Pop done. And then you don't need to worry about it. Okay. Questions, concerns, feedback, incident command system, anything. If you guys want to test for captain in the future, I'm saying focus on it now, focus on it often, and get after it. Yourself too. It's like if you see it, and how I view reality on the fire scene or on the emergency scene is anticipate the need if possible before it happens, feel it, communicate it, and then if that incident commander uses the wrong nomenclature, right? Let's say recently I had one of my captains use sector. Sector was awesome in 1988. You could rock sector all day long, medical sector. You can't use that now, but you can correct that on the radio. So if you got the command, hey, go ahead and set up medical sector, copy that. Command, be advised that I'm setting up medical group. We're going to be located here. Please give me 2 more ambulances. So you can correct the nomenclature too. You can correct some of the methodology that happens too. If the incident commander is overwhelmed and they need more resources, what can they call for next?
Second alarm.
Okay, what comes with the second alarm?
Same as the first alarm, except
Brady,
BCs.
you're kicking ass. I like it. You're going to get the BCSO too. So second alarm is getting that, just duplicated coming. So all those resources are coming, right?
So when would you want a second alarm?
As soon as you know. So if this fire is happening in July, I'm calling a second alarm. If this fire is happening in the fall time where my operational period and work cycle is going to be longer for my firefighters, I may not call for that second alarm, but I'll call for more engines, more ambulances, but I'm not going to pull the trigger on that second alarm.
So
But
it's when you think a fire will get out of control more than what you have.
right, when you can't overwhelm it with the resources that you have. The point being, when you have an incident, is to overwhelm that incident with those resources and attack, right? Attack, put the fire out, make the rescue, make it happen.
Right.
So let's say I have a whole second alarm coming and I'm on channel 4 or 5 and I'm running my incident. All these units are going to be checking onto my channel. So what do I want to do as the incident commander? Anybody? Chris?
Good question again.
Okay, I have all these resources coming on a second alarm. So if fire from command, strike me a second alarm. So now all these units are going to be checking in on my fire channel, meaning medic engine 125 en route or whatever number whatever engine number they are. They're going to be overwhelming my traffic. So I want to assign them a separate channel to come en route on. Do you guys know what channel they're going to be coming en route on for staging channel? 11. So channel 11. So be advised, if you're struck on a second alarm, dispatch is going to tell you what channel to respond on, and it's not going to be the fireground channel. But when you arrive, you're going to be either communicating with a staging officer, or you're going to contact command and say, hey, Command for Medic Ambulance 217, 218, whatever you are, be advised I'm in staging or I have arrived. Okay. A lot of information.
So I have a question for you.
Sure.
When you're assigning functions or you're assigning tasks
Okay.
to different engines, how specific do you want to be? Do you just want to give them the task and let them do what they see fit, or do you?
The answer that I will
micro-
have is how specific do I want my results? Okay, water supply, take water supply, I don't care. Ventilation, when I have interior crews, I'm gonna manage the shit out of you. Because at the point, unless they're being proactive and anticipating the needs of the incident and communicating to me, I'm not gonna kill a firefighter by having my vent profile go wrong because they are seeing something different than I'm seeing. If I know I have interior crews, I may focus on that vent profile a little bit more. I love saying medic ladder 110, you're gonna be assuming truck company functions with a priority on ventilation, second utilities, third salvage and overhaul, giving them the priorities. Let me know what you need. But if I want to get more specific, I want more specific outcomes, right? Because if you say, Wade, cook a steak, okay, I'm going to cook it however Wade likes a steak. May not be how like you probably like it bloody. I like mine like medium well. So depending on how you want that outcome to go. We just spent a lot of time on C platoon running through the CTC, and that was very apparent. It truly depends on what outcome you want to have happen. Many incidents I'm totally fine with giving them, hey, be advised, set up medical group here, popped on, I know what they're doing. Set up fire suppression group here. Now if I set up fire suppression group and they start spraying 1 3/4 when I want big water out of multiple 2.5s, then I need to get more specific. Okay. Any questions, concerns, feedback? Nothing.
I like this.
Okay. Focus on it at the company level within your stations. Focus on it. If you want to test for captain 10 years from now, focus on it. To take ICS 300, you have to have 1, 2, 7, and 8. So get through that. We should all already have 1, 2, 7, and 8. It's probably make sure you retain your certification. If you need to get it, you can request through FEMA. Very simple to get your transcript, so you can take your ICS 300. ICS 300 is a 2-day course. ICS 400 is a 1.5-day course. If you go on this Utah State Division of Emergency Management, you get to see all the classes that are outlined, and then you sign on through U-Train too. If you need help, call me and I'll help you. Just sign up for them. ICS 300 yet? Have you taken it? Do it. Get it done. Get it done. It helps you a ton. ICS 400 is a little bit higher than that, a little bit different, but 300 I think you all need to have. So, okay. I'm going to shut up. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chief.
What's new in life,
Good
Brady?
movie.
Nothing.
Good movie. Good choice.
Nothing really. Hanging out in Midvale.
Yeah.
I got on it.
It's
Slick is an EMT instructor.
Speaks to my soul.
You weren't getting enough time here? Or what?
Yeah.
Well, my side
Yeah.
job, doing driver's ed.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They've changed a couple things. It's not
Not what you want.
not what they want.
You know the really terrible, Barclay movie?
Did it for a long time,
Not
but
recently?
did driver's ed for like.
Yeah. So I actually really like that one, because I like that director,
Cool.
the same guy who did the new Sherlock Holmes movies.
How many years do you have on
He's
there?
got really interesting cinematography.
6.5.
The one that kind of.
It went like a weird high fantasy.
Not a lot.
It just said like medieval, but it had
Vikings did or whatever.
Yes, that's the guy.
Yeah, I feel like that should too.
Yeah, so that movie is arguably terrible on my list. But I really enjoyed it, and Rotten had kind of did the same thing for me, like the cinematography is interesting.
Do I have to get back out in the field?
Yes. For many reasons. One is that I have like a little vacation every 4 days. I go on a 2-day vacation away from my overwhelming family. Like I love them with all my heart, but man, they kick my ass. Just as far as daddy, 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 like just go, 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 go. And it's my crews are awesome. My captains are great. Like really, Charlie, did you want it? Like I have a bit of a man crush on Charlie, right? He's the last of like the cowboys. You know, he's out there smoking. That's what it feels like to me. I'm like, you're the last of a generation, right? How many other captains do we have like Charlie DeJournet? We got a couple. I have Craig Outson, he's another one. Wes Lathan. Like Wes is just an amazing human. Yeah, I got good people.
Craig Johnson doesn't remind me of a cow.
No, Craig Outson's not. He shoots better than a cowboy. But Charlie DeJournet,
He does everything like Johnson. He's like Chief Johnson.
dude, I love like just the attitude.
Oh, just kidding. it's not
Charlie's
possible.
attitude, I love
Never
him. He
mind.
laughs
Okay.
so hard.
I got
Like I'll
very
even
nervous.
smoke one with him just because it's fun. I wouldn't do that with anybody else, but I want to enjoy that time. So, and when those guys are gone, man, they're gone. Like you won't see that. I don't know if we'll ever see that same. Yeah, it just reminds me of years gone past too, right? Did you ever hear about Rodney Wilkerson?
I heard of him.
So,
I never had the opportunity to.
Vietnam vet, went to Vietnam when he was 17, right?
You have
He
to
was
screenshot
like
them.
the guy that went down
It's-
in
It's
the
just known as
tunnels, right? The tunnel rat went down there and did what he had to do.
But
Working with him as a station
oh,
officer,
man.
I've never been more intimidated in my life. I've never been more like, oh my god, oh my god. But when you get on a firefight and you're in the zone, man. You're like, Cap, you say it, man, it's done. And it was just some of the best times, best times you can imagine as far as that. So those are like the fleeting moments of your career that you want to savor. Because like, when they're gone, right? They're gone. I see Rodney every once in a while, like at IFA or at Costco or places like that. And I'm like, I line my kids up. Right? So 14, 11, and 8. And Rodney's in his cowboy hat, scar on his face from back in the knob. And I'm like, kids, that's what an fireman looks like. And Rodney's like, and I'm like, take it in, soak it in, because that's it, man. Like, he's badass. He's got the twitch a little bit, you know. He doesn't drink anymore, so he's, what's the word, maybe more balanced, but. Okay, I'm texting John, telling him you guys are done. Thanks for your attention.
Yeah, thank you.
I know it's a lot. I know it's, yeah.
Lots of
This was the most entertaining lecture so far.
You got it, like, and then you guys know this, but you gotta be like, work towards being a master of your craft. If you want fire, work towards that. If you want to stay MS or whatever you want to do, just work for it when it comes.
I used to do this a lot through captain's promotions, like just be part of it and sit down there at the table and talk through it, but now that I've had a bit with such older guys, I haven't.
Where are
seen
you
that,
at right
so
now?
123.
Yeah.
I just haven't seen it for years,
Yeah.
so I haven't really done it for years.
Right. Get after it.
I know.
It's amazing, like when you work with people that have made it a priority and things just flow seamless, right? They just flow really good. There's a South Jordan captain, I don't even know his name, he just ran a fire ozone, right? I was like blown away. I'm like, holy crap, man. Just pop, pop, pop. Gives me my assignment, I'm like, copy that, Battalion 12 will do the 360, and I'm driving around. And one of his other trucks tried taking the assignment, because people do that if they're in a better position to do it. And just how he shut that ladder down and kept the assignment with Battalion 12, just because once you start setting it out, and then if you want to reorganize again, it's like, it's not worth it, it's prohibitive. But there's a few guys out there, different agencies too, but you always know who's training by how they sound and what they're doing. Alright, I'm shutting up. Enjoy your day.
Thank you.
Done with them?
Sheriff.
Done.
They're experts in incident management now, right?
Well, they will be. Expert for a minute until you learn what you're missing and you start again, so.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Enjoy the
it.
day.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks, Chief.
Take care.
Thank you.
Would you learn a little bit?
Mhm.
Yeah, he does a really good class. Let's see.
That have to assign